Now, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining. And I want to say a happy full moon, although we don't really pay too much attention to these lunar energies as such, but we can use all of this to our advantage. It's the same with astrology. I have not really been very much into the whole astrology thing for a while, but then over the last 2 weeks, I was guided to tune into that again, to use it really to my advantage, to just see what's generally clearing in the collective, what energies we're working with. So that way I can then try and work with it rather than thinking I'm being, overcome by it or it's doing anything to me. It's just an energy that's out there that I can use to my advantage if I know generally there's a lot of confusion going on or there's a lot of karma clearing currently. So that just gives me an extra bit of data, of information I can work with. But we definitely don't give our power away, whether it's to any kind of lunar influences or astrological influences. But it's sometimes good to be aware, and it can be fun also. So we shouldn't plan our lives in regards to astrology. So I wanted to do 2 activations, and what I had said is that I would do a general deep clearing. What I'm being guided to do is actually make this a little deeper than I expected I would do. I'm going to use a script from Lisa Renee, which is all about really creating the sovereign energetic field and clearing out anything such as entities or implants that may be in our field and we want to get rid of, because that's really what's happening at the moment a lot. All of these distorted energies, frequencies, however we want to call it, are being cleared collectively. So it's really a time where this has been coming up a lot. People talking to me about this as well and asking for advice and guidance. So I wanted to include this in the call today so everybody can get a head start with this and get some deeper clearing. And I would recommend this for everyone to do this themselves. I'm going to try and include a link later on when I post the replay for everyone so that I can do this themselves, because being a sovereign individual being is all about us knowing we are stronger than any outside influence, than anything outside of us. So it's really about us connecting to source again, connecting to our innate power as a sovereign being, of claiming our energetic space. That is something I've only started a few months ago and was never really consistent with before, and I feel a huge difference. So I will also post some more about this, some links and some further information about this later on with the replay. So hopefully that supports a little bit further as well. So, and then what I'm going to do is, instead of just some DNA crystalline light body activation, I will also include this, but I will more focus on the divine union within, so that we come more into balance between our masculine and feminine within, birthing our divine child, the Holy Trinity. So to really just bring more balance into our aspects and into our energetic bodies, and help with that divine union within. And yeah, so at the moment, there's a lot happening collectively and in our personal lives. There has been a lot of timeline collapsing over the last 2 weeks especially. But in general, what we can feel is that there's a lot, or those of us who have maybe a little bit more insight of what's happening outside of the 3D reality, is that we're really collapsing past, present, and future in this now moment. So a lot of timelines have come up, and really the way we want to see timelines is not that they're actually linear, they're not really in the future or the past, it's all happening simultaneously. So they all run in parallel, really. And this is what we are tuning into at the moment, is that a lot of old stuff, a lot of karma, of karmic timelines have come up for resolution, for us to make new choices, because this is really a time of the old dying off or dissolving and collapsing, so that the new can come online, because we can't keep dragging all this old stuff with us if we want to have a new experience. It just doesn't make sense. So if we keep doing the same things over and over again, we can expect the same results. And this is something we really have to look at all day long in our behaviors, the way we behave, the way we think, what we believe in. So a lot of belief systems are at the moment clearing and collapsing. And it can be very confusing because it's like what you believe in. And it's thought patterns, it's everything really that is connecting us to our old personality. Because on this journey, what we do is, on the ascension journey, or awakening, however we want to call it, we are letting go and shedding layer by layer our old selves. So the old ways of what we believed in, obviously it starts with us reading a lot of Ascension material and reading or watching, people like me or others out there doing their work and talking about Ascension and awakening and how to, be more, connect more with your soul, because that's really what it is about. The personality has really been given to us to a huge degree. So through the programs that run within our family lines, the kind of personality types, the belief system we've been given. This is all from the systems, our family, from friends. So we've really been given this, and it's in our blood as well. So we carry a lot of ancestral karma within our DNA, that we all have been given a piece of the pie, so to say, of what we have to resolve. And everybody has different soul themes, and these soul themes at the moment are really coming up. So we're really going deep. And another thing that happens with that is, when we have these soul themes that keep coming up, is then it feels like a timeline looping. So we have a lot of the same themes that might be going on with different people or different situations, but kind of core wounds are being triggered. That's what our core soul lessons are also about. So really, I keep going deeper. And I, in my own life, also had to see that I'm sometimes a really slow learner of like, okay, why didn't I get this the first 100 times? So we have to really laugh about it, because these personalities that have been given to us, it's really us, the same as if you look at different lifetimes we have led. We're trying out all these different aspects. It's source experiencing itself through us. And these are all these different archetypes and personality traits that we are here to refine and that we're here to clear out. So we're really, as this timeline collapse is happening, it's like our past self, our current present self, and our future self are all merging, and we are in the same with the timelines. And then what we have to do is really purify these aspects to see, okay, what is in alignment with my soul? What is in alignment with my purity? And for all those aspects that are negative ego aspects, that are not working, that are not in the highest good for myself and other people around me, to release them and to clear them out of our fields and out of our lives. So it takes a lot of focus, it takes a lot of mindfulness of everything we think and we feel and we do, and these beliefs that are running deep underneath, because emotions are triggered by thoughts, and repetitive thought forms is what forms our beliefs. So we really have to master our thinking. So first of all, we have to become conscious of the unconscious, of what's actually running our lives, because the beliefs is what our realities are built on. And again, that's what repetitive thought forms, patterns come from. So we have to really become the masters of our own minds, and to shepherd our own thoughts and really keep refining them, keep purifying them. Whenever they don't align with love, there's something to clear. That's, for me, one of the easiest way to discern of, okay, is this thought based in love, or is it based in distortion? Like, is it based in love? Does it come from, even if someone is not nice to me, let's say, I can stand up for myself and have my boundaries, but I understand that they're doing it from an unconscious place or from fear or hurt themselves. So that thought is based in purity and in love, because I understand they're not doing it because of me. They're doing it from their own hurt place, from their own distortion. If it triggers me, there's something for me to resolve. But if, they're just acting out, then it's something for them to look at. But we still give them love. But we can also say, no, this behavior is not okay, because we do have to stand up for ourselves. And boundaries and discernment are very, very important for us all to learn, because that's one of the weaknesses I think many of us have, that we haven't had enough discernment or boundaries. And I'm one of them, definitely. And it's one of my core soul lessons. So it's certainly not easy. So there's a lot of deep clearing going on, to also understand the whole entity thing, which I'm going to go into now. It's really, entities are in truth lower thought forms that have taken on a life of their own. So let's say sometimes that comes in when we go through trauma in our lives, or we lose a loved one, we lose our job, things like this, or we break up with our partner. This can cause a kind of opening in our auric field through the trauma, and then these negative thought patterns that keep being repeated, and you energetically feel connected to this repetitive thought pattern. This then can create an entity in your field, but these energies can take on a life of their own. So it's not as if, like on one level, there are, an outside energy, or like not an outside because it's an energetic field, but it's an energy with its own will. So it's not your will acting out, but on the highest level, we need to understand that all that is in our field is also us. So this is also repetitive thought patterns. So the only way this energy can actually cause me any challenges is by me connecting to it through this negative thought pattern. So no matter how many removals you do, if you keep having negative thoughts and negative ego behaviors that are playing out, these things will keep bringing you challenges. So in general, daily energetic clearing and having an energetic, sovereign field. So using different techniques, whether it's you want to just put yourself in a bubble of light, or there are different techniques which I will also share later on. I use quite a few techniques for the time being, because I just know that so much has been clearing over the last few months, and I've been doing this also collectively in clearing the collective field of these frequencies. So I just know I'm having a lot of challenges with this. So I'm taking in extra care every morning, every evening before I go to bed in clearing out my field and then putting a certain amount of protection around it. Now, I do believe once we are consistently on a fifth dimensional frequency, and we have really anchored this in, like our ascended beingness, we do not need any kind of shielding anymore. But it's certainly nothing that hurts or harms anyone. I always make the intention to have only the highest frequencies of love and purity that may enter my energetic field. Anything else is being sent back to sender or back to source for transmutation. And I have other ways of connecting with any kind of being that wants to have contact with me that may not be of that frequency. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is you can make that intention to only have the purest frequency enter your field. And for anything like lower frequencies entering the field, they will be purified before they can even enter in. But this is something, and there are again different techniques out there, so look around what fits you, and I might share mine in a little while. Is that it's a consistent approach you need to have. So it's not something you just do one day, you don't do the next, you will feel a difference. But I found a real difference was once I've been doing this continuously for, I don't know, a good few weeks. And then it really started to improving. And then the ups and downs are a lot less as well, because these kind of things can really make you suicidal. And that's a lot of what that actually is. So, but again, it's mainly down to the way we govern our thoughts and to become really conscious of our subconscious, because otherwise these things come back. It's just a manifestation, really, of that negative thought pattern that you keep running and that negative belief system. So that has to be cleared out. But in order to get there, sometimes clearing out energetically, is really helpful. And we can do this in many different ways. So we cleared our DNA, we use light language, we use energetic clearing. There's so many techniques out there. But just doing that to make it part of your routine makes a huge difference. So every morning I need to clear my energetic field, because otherwise I really feel a difference in how my whole day will plan out. And I just have a much more stability within my energetic field, because I take care of it, and I know when something is trying to come in, and then I know I have enough power to remove these frequencies from my energetic field. And it's a daily effort, just like brushing our teeth or having a shower. We feel a difference when we haven't done it. And practice makes perfect, or makes us a master, so to say. Okay, I think, um, I mean, generally speaking, the energies, before I move on to the first clearing, it's just that we have to be very mindful of the old playing out and to really collapse those timelines, so to not engage in old behaviors if they do not feel good or if they have not worked. And again, we do this with everything that comes up in our reality, because the universe is really quite loud at the moment. So it's really talking to us with many different messages that come to us, synchronicities, conversations you might overhear when you're out, things you see on the internet. So these messages keep coming to us, and it's getting really loud, and it's getting really clear because the veils are lifting and we can see what we couldn't see before. So we also have to be just very forgiving and understanding with ourselves and with other people, because we understand that a lot of the distortions playing out between people and just in general come from a place of distortion. And until we know better, we just don't know any better, and we don't know what we don't know. So we all have blind spots. They're all for us things that we couldn't see before, and other people are really helping us to see what still needs to be refined, what still needs to be cleared. So anyone triggering us, anyone holding up that mirror to us of what, triggers some negative feeling or emotion in us, is something we can look at within ourselves and just drop deeper and deeper, instead of acting out towards another person, for example, and take a step back and just taking some time to yourself of seeing, okay, what lies beneath. So for example, repetitive thought patterns that have manifested in a belief system, and you all of a sudden become aware of it. And these can be many different things. And we can go into this maybe a little bit later. But the most important thing is that we want to stop, or we want to let go of all of our old behaviors and activate. That's how we collapse those old timelines, so by not engaging in these old thoughts and belief systems and behaviors that have not brought us much joy, and really start behaving in a different way. So acting, talking, thinking, working on our beliefs. And this gives us access to our future self, which is now available. So there is huge collective quantum leaps that are happening at the moment with this huge collapse of these timelines. And the more we activate these new timelines through our new behaviors, the new ways of doing things, the new ways of acting, the more we will access these new realities. And I've been starting to see this in my own life. Now, there's a transitory period, so this is still ongoing at the moment. So just keep very present and don't even look at time. Just stay right in the now moment. Don't worry about the past, don't worry about the future. Just deal with what has been given to you in this now moment, because anything that's happening here in our reality will help us resolve all these other timelines. So we don't really need to know what's going on as such. Obviously, it can help to see certain patterns and themes, but generally, this experience right here is helping us resolve these past traumas that are ourselves. There might be from our bloodlines. There might be certain collectives we are connected with, because we need to also understand everything we do for ourselves, we do for everyone. And this is how this whole ascension process works for me. It's the more of us create these new behaviors and new ways of being, the more this goes out into the collective as a new template, and it then rolls out as a 100-monkey effect, where this becomes a new way of being within the collective consciousness. It's just a template that's easily available. Obviously, people still need to choose through their free will to engage with that, but it just becomes a lot easier. So we came here as those light bearers and forerunners and all of that to do a little bit more of the hard work. It can be excruciating at times, but we do it because we have trained for it, and we came here because we can do it. So it's really an honor to be here and to be able to do that, although it can be extremely challenging. But another thing that's coming in is to have more fun with it. It doesn't have to be so serious. And sure, it all makes a huge difference, because by us claiming these new realities and these new versions of us, this is how we're calling in new earth, because it's being projected from inside of us out into our realities. This is a holographic quantum projection. So it's very important that we get this. But on another level, we also have to just relax and have a little bit more fun with it and not take it too seriously, because it's just these different roles we've been taking on. In a way, we're all actors in a grand movie, in a grand play. and we're just trying out these suits and these personalities, and we're getting though now to choose of who we want to be. So we're reinventing ourselves. We are becoming a new us, but it's a new true soul self. It's not some personality that has been given to us. It's who we really truly are in our core. But that happens within layers. But at the moment, we have this huge chance of making gigantic quantum leaps, and what we're deciding right now is very important. So try just to look at it a little bit more. Of being an Alice in Wonderland is what keeps coming up. It's to see, oh, what have I created here? And, I was also thinking over the last couple of weeks, just the games we play, the themes we come up with, and just to be in a state of wonder, maybe of, oh, okay, here's a piece of cake. Maybe let's try this. And tomorrow I'll try something else. Yes, we do need to try out these different things to see what resonates with me and what doesn't. And we've all just made these experiences. It is an experiment, but now we really are growing up, and we are graduating from, being a preschooler to becoming more of a master, and progressing in school, and now we know a bit more, and we have learned a lot of lessons. So it's really for us to implement and be the change we want to see in the world. This is what we're here for. We are being the change. So it's not about what we say, it's about what we do. Anyone who has children knows that it's like, it doesn't matter how often you tell our children not to do something. If we do it, it doesn't come from a place of integrity. So we have to be that living change. Okay, that's enough for the moment with talking. We can talk more later, and I hope you all also gonna join in, not maybe all, but some of you, and ask me some questions. You can ask me some questions after the first activation, and then, just whatever comes up, we talk about it. Okay, so if you all just want to get comfortable and settled, or you want to sit or lie down. And if we open up our palms, pointing towards the ceiling in order to receive the keys and codes. We'll take a couple of deep breaths. Breathing in love. Breathing out any tension, any stress. Breathing in love. Breathing out any density. And we connect to our heart, our beautiful crystalline, diamond, platinum heart center. We can imagine this as a diamond, as a crystalline rose. A beautiful soft pink crystalline rose, opening up petal by petal, opening up wider and wider. Healing any pain, any grief, any sadness, any sense of betrayal, any density from our heart or back to source for transmutation. As we merge with our higher selves, Christ itself, multidimensional selves, and mighty I Am Presence, pure source-like consciousness, anchoring in our soul, oversoul, and monad, and source, in through our heart, out into energy fields, calling forth our highest soul light, as we connect through our heart center with the golden diamond, beam of light to the crystalline core of Gaia, Gaia's heart, and her love, connected to the kingdoms and elementals. Also connecting to the human heart grid. That's what we're doing for ourselves, we will do for all life all willing hearts that wish to receive this clearing and activation may benefit from it. Usunaya ki inasaraya ki inasarakukunaya ki ukanaya ki inasaraya ki ushunaya ki inanasaraya inakarakukunaya ki. As we are focusing back in our heart center, we see a beautiful threefold flame of love, power, and wisdom igniting in our heart center. It's a pink, blue, and golden yellow flames, and as they grow brighter and wider, they turn into beautiful white flame. And this flame goes wider, wider, and brighter until it envelopes our whole body out into energetic fields, filling out all of our aura, helping us purify, illuminate, and ascend all levels, layers, and dimensional expressions of us. Our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies, our 12-body system, our spinal cord energies, purified and divinitized, all of the 33 vertebrae. As we clear, heal, balance, harmonize, upgrade all of our meridians, nadis, axonal lines, all of our systems, cardiovascular system, nervous system, endocrine system, reproductive system, all of our systems, organs, bones, muscles, sinuses, skin, hair, eyes, ears, nose, mouth, throat, our teeth, our gums, all and everything, every cell, every atom, every atomic and subatomic particle and wave, and all the spaces in between, down to the mitochondria, purify, divinitize, harmonize, balance, upgrade, activate to the highest multidimensional level available in this now moment. Usunaya ki inaya ki inasarate inaya ki unasaraya ki inasharaye ukunaya nasi inaye ukuraya ki inaye ukunaya ki inaye sinatu unaye ikunaye ki usuraya ki inaye ukuraya ki inaye inakaraku kunakaraki kinakaraki kinakaraku usukanana tarate. And now imagine a golden, diamond, white, crystalline, platinum bubble of light, impenetrable bubble of light all around our aura, helping us close any tears, any holes, any openings, any portals within our aura, healing our aura, fluffing it out, making the intent that only the highest frequencies of purity and love may enter our field, all else back to source. Ushunayaki inayaki inasarakiaki inakarakukunayaki ki inasarayaki inasharatu usunayaki inayaki. Activating our highest quality DNA, overriding and overwriting any lesser DNA, any lesser codes, any lesser strands. Activating 12 strands of DNA, 13 strands, 14 strands, 15 strands. Activating the 144 templates of Christed, crystalline, divine human DNA. Etherically reconnecting our multidimensional DNA, puritized and divinitized, as we call back to ourselves all that we are and a conscious awareness, activating our gifts and abilities, our extrasensual perception gifts to the next level. Usunaya ki inakarakukuna she inaye inakarakukurana se inanakarakukurana ye inaye usunana ki ukunaya ki nasanaye ki atu usunaya ni nate atu usununaya ki ekanaya ki usunanaya ki nayatu We're now activating a giant vortex of light all around our field, turning clockwise, starting 30 centimeters below our feet, going up to about 30 centimeters above our head, opening up a portal of light back to source, which will help us remove any density, any distorted frequencies, any energies from our fields back to source for transmutation to the highest degree that divine law may allow. Usunaya ki inasaraya ishurate ikinasaraye inakarakura saraye ikunaya ki inasaraya ki usunaya ki inaya ki inasaraya ki ukunaya ki inaye usunaya ki inaya ku urutu unaya ki usunaya ukunaya ki inasaraya ki. We ask our avatar selves to return all codes, fire letters, and the jewels, wings, energies, and parts of bodies that have been misdirected and return them now to the rightful owner. Pro, in the name of self-sovereignty, here I instated and commanded into presence now. We invalidate the beings by commanding a full dissolution and dissolve into the one source God, source light, through forgiveness and forgetfulness. Completely heal and seal the personal auric field from any further intrusion. Return all energies and essences that were in divine right order now, through the return to rightful owner in God's authority. We call back now all that is our self-sovereign God power and right. We request now the complete removal of all the Nephilim reversal programs or lower formed energies and misqualified vibrations. Remove all imbalanced matrices, devices, and structures here and now. Further remove any and all negative entity, negative attachment, negative elemental, negative alien influence, negative karmic implant, negative alien implant, any negative karmic pain traps, any negative manipulation. Please scan and check my bodies for and remove any mind control booby traps, thought forms, beings, face disruptors, disease booby traps, holographic inserts, pathogen pullers, or any kind of structure interference draining our energy through karmic superimposition, and their enslavement devices or programs that are interfering with my free will of expression and self-determination. Clear any ritual, spell, curse, or symbol. Clear any negative past life artifact. Clear any and all psychic attack with any frequency of manipulation or interference. Clear related attacks of vampirism or recording and all negative cords. Remove impacts from negative mass consciousness, energy or leakages connecting to those particular programs. Please clear any and all imbalanced or misqualified energies now from the collective and ourselves. We claim the sovereign right and liberation for all persons involved for any timeline or time zone. In the light of God and the love of Christ, we dissolve and clear any and all manipulation, enslavement, or interference with any person, place, or thing, both human or non-human, to be removed, cleared, and terminated from any involvement. Clearly stated, we resign any and all involvement in this matrix. We resolve and resign from this game fully and completely. We are all free from any entanglement, attachment, or disturbance, now and forever. We claim this as our God-sovereign right. And I command in the name of God, Creator, and Jesus Christ, that the shape-shifting giant demon spirit entities, darkities, and reptilians, any and all energies of interference, of malevolence, any entities, any kind of lower frequency, step away from this planet now. And I ask for these soul pieces and beings to be put into a place of confinement and a room of transformation so I can do no more harm. We now ask for this to become active in our energy fields and with anyone we are connected with who we may have permission to do this for. Usunaya ki inaya ku una sara ina saraya ki inaye. Usunaya ki ina sharaya ki ina sa unaye ki inaya ki inaya. Usunaya ki inaye. Usunaya ki inaya ki inaye. Ukura ukunake esina henaye. Ukura hena kara uura e ena kara ushura yaki. Ikanaye si inaye. Ukunaye ki inaye. Usunaye ki. As we're purifying all and any lower timelines, lower realities, experiences, thought forms, behaviors, feelings, activating the highest possible Christed timelines, personally and collectively now. Osuna ena ki ira sa ukura ena, e ina ya ki ina sharaya ki, okuna sena ye ina ye gakire ki ira sa ukuna ye ikira ye, osuna ye ana, o ina ye ki ina, una ye na si yaki, osuna ye ki. And we go back to ourselves, all and any soul pieces, soul fragments, all aspects of us that may have been given away in any way, back to us, healed and purified, as it is safe, as we're always protected and provided for. And we ask for this to be valid across all timelines, all dimensions, all realities. Usunayaki ina sarayaki ina sharayaki inaye. Ukurayaki inaye. Usunayaki. Ukunaya kara kara kukunayaki ina sarayaki inaye. Unana sarayaki. And we now focus back on our heart center. And we feel a beautiful soft pink, magenta light, crystalline light, filling up our aura and every cell and every atom of our beingness, across all timelines, all dimensions, all realities, filling up with pure divine love. Pure love. Usuna naya kira tarayaki. Unaya ni ina saraye. Okuraye. Ushunayaki. Unayaki ina sarayaki. Usunaye. Okuraye. Usunayaki. Calling forth the highest levels of light. Activating our diamond crystalline DNA to 100% purity. Usunaya shi ikina karakia na sara uku inayaki. We now send this love out to the human heart grid, to any man, woman, and child who is ready to receive these keys and codes and activations and clearings. And from our heart, we connect once more to Crystalline called Gaia, sending her our love and our gratitude as she sends us her love and our gratitude as we exchange the keys and codes. And we know we are safe, we are protected, and we're always provided for. And we are so loved by the divine and so appreciated for all we do. And what we do for ourselves, we do for all life. Isanayaki ya karakukunayaki. Ishanayaki rasu unayaki ana. Unayaki. Isanayahi. Enayaki Anasarayaki Unasanayaki Atu Unanaye Esunayaki Okunayaki Enasarayaki Unanaye Esu Ateaki Aku. It is done, it is done, it is done. So it is. Okay. I hope you enjoyed that, if that's something to be enjoyed. It's a clearing. And these are all things we can do for ourselves. And that's the most important thing to understand. It's just something we have forgotten we can do, or something we feel we are not powerful enough, or that these things are something to be afraid of. And these are certainly not topics anyone really likes. And I used to also be someone who didn't look at this stuff and try to avoid it. And like I did a couple of entity clearings over the years, but I never really put much attention to it. And also what nobody told me is that if I don't have an energetic sovereign field, then, these troubles or challenges will keep causing me trouble. So that's why it's one of the most important things, is to really keep our own energetic fields clean and work on our own inner work. So the self-discipline. And the more we do this, the stronger our energetic field becomes, the more we know what's ours, what's someone else's, because also as very sensitive and perfect people, like who, feel a lot, it's really our superpower. But until we have turned this in our superpower, we pick everything up from around us. So a lot of us clear wherever they go. I know I certainly always have done that, but it makes more sense now. Some of the experiences I had throughout my life. And now I can see wherever I go, I clear spaces, people. And before I would just have sucked it all up, and I would even act out other people's negative behaviors, or even pick up on their thoughts. So sometimes it was really hard for me to discern, okay, what of this is me and what is someone else's? And also, as we're dropping more and more into this feeling of unity with the whole collective, with, all of it, source really. It's not just this planet. The more confusing it can become of, what's my sovereign me and what is someone else's, because I feel so much empathy and love for other people, but I also need to have boundaries. So I don't, I'm not being taken advantage of, or I'm not being manipulated, or I'm not being used, or whatever it might be that we have a problem with. So it's important that we have a sense of detached compassion for other people. So again, if we have other people in our lives that we have a challenge with, and they trigger us a lot, or we trigger them a lot, or it might be in both ways usually, is that there are always soul lessons involved, but we also then have to keep going further within to see what is here for me to be resolved, because obviously we don't want to keep playing out these roles and keep having the same experiences and same timelines and things. So we need to really start behaving differently. And it's important to understand again that however the other person behaves, it's not really a reflection of you, it's what they're going through themselves. So to first of all make that distinction. Now, if we are being affected by their behavior, this is something they're bringing into our field, like a mirror that we need to look at. And often also what we find annoying or triggering within other people is something we ourselves might have as a behavior, but we're not quite aware of it. It's the same with, so what I've been doing over the last couple of weeks was whatever kind of advice I wanted to give to another person I was thinking of, I would integrate this more myself. Because I can't make other people change. All I can be is be the change I want to see in the world. And they are showing me something that obviously still hasn't been integrated or hasn't been resolved within my own energetic field, because that's why it keeps coming up. Now, again, if you're not being triggered, it's just their thing. But if you've been triggered, go within and see what's there. what's underneath all the layers of what's playing out, the conversations you have with the thought patterns, and then the underlying beliefs. And that's where we can resolve them. So if, we have repetitive experiences, we want to start choosing to react differently. And that way, the whole dynamic of the situation changes. And we can really apply this to all and everything. And one of the most important things is to keep remembering all the advice we're really giving to other people is something we, on some level, are giving to ourselves. This is a constant conversation with the self, because all of these people in our lives are fractals of us, are fractals of the one, and we are integrating all these aspects in unifying this oneness again, because we are coming out of separation, the experience of separation, of us experiencing ourselves separate from other people around us. And this separation goes very deep. It goes back to the separation from source, although part of our soul is always with source. So that's the illusion of separation we are transcending here by integrating all of these different aspects. And they come to us through other people. So whenever we judge something, it's not always something we ourselves might have as a behavior or personality trait ourselves, but it may be something that's so foreign to us that we are getting a deeper understanding of through the interaction with this other person, because they're helping us to understand, and understanding is really healing. So if I understand someone else's reasons for why they are the way they are, it really helps me in understanding, forgiving, and then integrating that aspect within me by not judging it anymore. Because judgment is separation of us arguing about I'm right, you're wrong. It doesn't even matter anymore. We're at a stage where everything is collapsing on this super multidimensional level. Like, it's so multi-layered of all that is going on, and we're just getting a snippet of it, really, is that it just all wants to be integrated. So everybody around us, any relationship we have, is helping us do this. So they're really, whoever triggers you or whatever triggers you, just give it gratitude, first of all. That shifts the whole situation. So instead of being angry with it or being frustrated, just first of all say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for bringing this into my life to help me see something I couldn't see before. For me to drop into a deeper understanding, more compassion, more forgiveness, more love for myself and for the people around me, for the whole of humanity, for me to be able to understand this better, for me to understand better the behavior of other people and why they are the way they are. And it really all comes back down to divine neutrality and divine love, dissolving all these lower experiences. So us becoming neutral, becoming loving and accepting of all and everyone around us, that's helping us to unify within. Because whilst we're still having reactions towards other people, there is still separation within us that wants to be resolved and wants to be integrated. So that's what they're really doing for us. They're all aspects of source, all wants to be integrated. So no matter what anyone has done or not done, we always give them more love. It doesn't mean that we need to have them in our lives, because that might not be for our greatest good at the time, whilst they're sorting out their own stuff, because that's self-sovereignty. We cannot do anything for other people. Even when we have children, for example, we need to let them make their own experiences and hurt their knee and bang their head. And we just need to have trust and hold the space to know that they will be okay, because we made these experiences ourselves and we made it through. Obviously, we are here to support other people that actually are really willing to have that support and are asking for it, but we don't oppress it onto other people, because that's not giving them their sovereignty either. So, us trying to help or rescue when it's not appropriate. We don't rescue really anyone. Helping is more in a way of assisting and supporting. That's where we want to get to, but we're not doing it for anyone, and we're not taking away their own self-sovereign ability to deal with that. So what I do often, if I have anyone in my life that I am worried about, but it's not really up to me to assist them in any way, I just see them happy. I just keep feeding that timeline where they have, they're looking after themselves, making healthier choices, they're happy, they're well provided for. That's the best way I can help another person. in general. Apply this to all and anything, because it's the same for whatever we see on TV might pick up. I mean, I'm not really watching the news, but whenever I do pick up on anything, I will just see it as resolved. So with the Amazonian rainforest, see it raining. You know, don't keep focusing on the fire. Keep focusing on the solution. I think Abraham Hicks said something about you can't keep complaining about the drought, but expect it to rain. And then I had other things coming up, and it actually goes towards the whole idea that, you know, for example, Native American culture, you would do rain dancing. So they would dance for the rain. They would already celebrate the rain from coming. That's manifestation. Us dropping into that frequency of what we already want to experience. So it's the same with timelines. So in order to experience those timelines we want to experience, we have to really be at that frequency and that vibration of as if it's already happened. So all the fears and all the doubts have all to clear out. And you can do a lot of that energetically, but the rest will be done through experiences we have in our everyday life that assist us in doing this. And another thing is also that we have to be very neutral to any outcome, any person, anything, because our human self has wishes or wants or desires or an idea of what we feel we need in our life, but what we actually need might be very different. And that's why detachment to any outcome is so important. Now, we still have preferences and we want to focus on manifesting that which we want to experience, but we can't do it from a place of attachment. So as in, oh, if this is not working out, I'm going to be very sad kind of thing. It needs to be, it will be very nice if that works out, but if it doesn't work out, that's fine also, because I know whatever's meant for me won't pass me by. We have to let go of the control of trying to make something happen. It's more of an allowance of things coming to us. We are that magnetic energy of pulling what is for our highest soul growth into our experience. But the more we are aligned with our true soul self, and the more we are aligned with a higher frequency, the more joyous, obviously, and miraculous and nice kind of experiences we will have, because it's a frequency match, isn't it, of what we get in our lives. So if we vibrate at anger or frustration, we will have more experiences throughout the day, very possibly, that will cause more anger and frustration until we finally boil over and lose the plot or whatever. So obviously that's one of the things we don't want to do, because we are sovereign beings and we know how to master our thoughts, and we know not to just act out, but we still feel our feelings. So I will say more about that in a moment. But basically, to really be very aware of everything we do and say and think and feel is what enables us to now tap into these new versions of us, into these new higher timelines that are available now. New Earth is available now. It's there for us in the taking. We're going through this huge clear out, and this is really something to celebrate, because it's allowing us, you know, as it's like making space in a house, throwing out the old furniture. You then make space for the new nice furniture to move in, the ones you really like, and not the old ones you're just used to. So it's the same with us in creating space, clearing out any density, then more light can come in, more of our soul self come in. So it's a constant effort and mindfulness we have to act out, but at the moment it's really quantum, so we can make huge leaps. So what we're doing at the moment is very, very important. I do just want to say that again, without any pressure, of course. So we also need to be playful with it, but through that playfulness, joy is the highest vibration. So that's why we have to relax more, we have to have more fun, because then we can actually access those higher experiences and realities. But obviously, if we have something to work through, we just have to face that and sit with that and really be present with it. So we can't suppress anymore, because that will just keep, you know, we haven't resolved it, and then that thing will keep coming up in our experience for us to resolve. So until we have really sat with those emotions and really dig deep what is beneath the emotions, the thoughts and the belief systems, you know, we have to sit with it, but not wallowing. So there's a really fine line of bringing something up in your awareness, really observing it from a neutral perspective. So be a compassionate observer, but as if you're talking to your best friend and giving them advice with loads of love and compassion and understanding. But then we don't stay there, like we don't stay in those lower emotions and like wallowing in them for a huge amount of time. But we do need to feel them, but we do it from this perspective, again, as if you are giving support to your best friend. You know, you're not going to suffer along with it, you're just observing it. It's an energetic release that wants to happen, because what we're clearing at the moment are eons of ancestral karma and our own karma, and it all wants to be released. Like on one level, yes, we want to change it in the physical, we need to do things differently, but on another level, it's also very energetic. It's in our cells, it's in our body, so it has to clear. That's why purification is such a big thing. So to drink loads of water, to eat healthily, to eat clean, really, really supports. And obviously we'll have other days where, you know, we want a piece of chocolate cake or whatever it might be, but it's also about balance. But generally doing everything we can to support the purification makes it easier. It helps you to have a more balanced energetic field, body, you know, mental, emotional, physically. The same with exercise, going out, whatever it is. Earthing in nature is so big and so important. Listen to relaxing music. There are binaural beats, there is brainwave music, things that really help you, you know, by just listening to sounds or music to help you deal with sabotaging thoughts or negative thoughts or things that help you clear out your aura. I love crystal balls. I find it very high vibrational, so I love listening to them. They help clear out my energetic field. And when so much is going on at the moment, so much releasing, we need to spend a little bit of extra time in doing that energetic work, because it just helps us to really have an easier day, an easier life. And whenever I get stressed, also I know, okay, just go within and clear that out energetically, do a little meditation or just be silent, just, you know, center yourself again, and then you go back out and it will be a different situation. But if you get all stressed up and all tangled up and you keep going within your day and you keep pushing yourself, although your body or, you know, your higher self, your mind is telling you, oh, I really need a break here, take that break. It makes such a big difference. You will have totally different realities and timelines afterwards if you just go within. So whenever there's something crazy going on, take a moment or two for yourself, and making daily time for that inner work, and also going within and not just keeping ourselves busy and distracted with telephones and Facebook and whatever else it may be, is very, very important. The sovereign self listens to their own higher guidance more than anything around them. Of course, we can talk to people and we can read someone else's articles or whatever, but we still want to constantly see, does that resonate with me? Does it not? What is my inner truth? What do I feel about it? Not just take anything in as if it was the truth. And the truth is a very flexible subject. And especially now, as so much is collapsing, you need to be very flexible with the truth, because that also changes. If you think about the Mandela effect, it's an effect most of us notice, otherwise Google it. Mandela, like the African president. So the idea behind it is that you have past timelines change. So actually events in history change. So for example, some people believe or have the memory that Nelson Mandela died in prison in the 80s, I believe. Most of us don't have that memory, but there are a lot of people who do. That's why it's called the Mandela effect. So this is also coming up. So what's true one moment might not be true the next. Things that people I listened to before, I don't anymore. It just doesn't resonate. But that was just an experience I had to teach me something, to bring something more within, to further integrate those aspects. So it's all perfect how it was, but now I know better. Or it's not even about better or worse. It's different. It's now I'm more aligned with my true source, my true self. And I know what resonates for me or not. And also, if I want to retrieve my own wisdom and my own knowing, the more I listen to my own guidance and the more I connect with my guidance, my own source, the more I will get in. So the more I trust myself, the more I trust my intuition, the more strongly this will come in. So it's like a reward system in a way. But we need to really trust ourselves that we know best. You know, what does something feel like? Not what does your head later on come in with worries and concerns and doubts and regrets of why you can't do a certain thing, or you know, something that your heart is set on, trust your heart, trust your intuition, trust your gut feeling. And then your mind is there to help you make those steps to get you where you want to be, because we still need to do things. We don't just visualize or dream about our perfect life, you know, all day long. We also then put whatever guidance comes in from us, not someone else, of what we want to do, because every little step will actually activate those timelines, and then the resources and the people will come in to enable you to, you know, go further along that timeline and along those dreams and visions you had. And really, we are now in a time, as so much all is collapsing, that it's also time of destiny, and it's a time where our efforts will really pay out. I strongly believe it. I've been seeing it for weeks. It's a little bit slow coming sometimes, but that's also linear, you know, patient type problem, where we are not always that patient, and many of us have been doing this for many years. But us believing in it, and also clearing out any doubt, any worries of thinking we are not worthy, or that we are not powerful, or you know, deserving enough of having these realities, of living a truly beautiful life filled with joy and fun and peace and abundance and beautiful relationships. That's the kind of thing we really need to clear out now, because, you know, doubts and worries also create these negative timelines. So we really have to sit with them neutrally, in a neutral space, but really clear out that fear and that doubt, and just keep affirming what you truly believe in, because those beliefs and those thought patterns is what creates your reality. That's why I have to be so vigilant with them, so mindful. And the divine feminine returning is our subconscious. The divine feminine sense of our subconscious is coming up for us to see what has been running in our subconscious mind. You know, and we weren't aware of it before. So don't beat yourself up. Don't be hard on yourself. It was what it was. But now we can make different choices with having that higher awareness. So that's what it's all about. It's not about, you know, going over and over and dwelling on the old, but to say, okay, I understand this now. This is what didn't work well. Now I'm going to make different choices, because I'm just done with this. And I'm ready for new experiences, a new life, a new reality. But we need to make it happen. But to a certain extent, it's a little bit of between divine will and your own actions. So the universe will do the rest for you. You know, you're not doing this all on your own. If you really set on something, if you really believe and want something that you feel is good for yourself and for other people around you, the universe will conspire. If it's meant to be, it will happen. So we need to trust a lot, and we need to surrender a lot also. So it's really this, you know, balance also between our different aspects, masculine and feminine, between the doing and the being. There's a time for being and there's a time for doing, and that keeps flowing, because time doesn't, you know, we're not being so focused on linear time of, I need to do this at 4 o'clock, I need to do that at 6 o'clock. Leave as much flexibility in your daily schedule as you possibly can. Obviously, we all have responsibilities, but as much in those blocks of time that you might have more flexibility, just leave it open so you can flow with it more. So you can flow with, now I feel I want to, you know, go out for a walk, and now I want to have a little nap. Go with it. The more you can do this, the more you're collapsing time and our and structure and control, you know, because this is not a linear journey. It takes as long as it takes. So be in this present now moment as much as you can, because that is the 0 point field, and that's where we really create from. So it's not from, oh, I need this and this to happen, or this might not happen because in the past this hasn't worked out, and we're just going to have the same experience. No. All of this has to be cleared out. 0 point field of now, the possibility and opportunity for everything to come into your field that is possible. But you don't do it from a place of control. You do it from, I'm doing my best, I'm following my guidance, and then what is meant for me will be. That's the balance between doing and surrendering that we all have to get to, really, to have a nice flowing life. And obviously we will have challenges still, but they can become more joyful. This can become easier and more joyful and more fun. But we just have to keep that wonder and not take everything personally, because it's not personal. Everybody's going through their stuff. Have more understanding, more compassion, and just do your thing. You know, don't worry so much about what other people are doing or not doing. Do you. focus on you, have time for you, go within, get to know yourself, because that's when you trust yourself, is when you know what you are about, who you are, what you want, what you don't want. Then if you trust yourself and you keep trusting yourself and your own inner guidance, you keep having more trust. The more trust you have within yourself, the more trust you will have in other people as well, because your discernment is just much stronger as well. So that's just a few tips. Now I just have this cat here scratching, and I just need to throw her out. I do a very quick break, and then if you want to have some questions, it would be great if you want to talk. You can also put notes in the group chat. If you don't want to talk or you can't, that's fine. So anyone who has a question, think about it and let me know. Okay, thank you for being here. Now, so I see no questions at the moment. I'm going to have a look if there are any hands raised. You can raise a hand as well. You might not have any questions. So it's nice to have other people to talk to. But I understand if you don't. I'm just going to add one more piece about the energetic protection, and I'm going to later on share, so with the replay that I send out and post later, I will add some links about the 12D shield technique from Lisa Renee, which is a very good thing. She also has this as a YouTube video, so it's something you can just put on in the morning with a few minutes. You're set up for the day, and it's just really setting the stage and the intention of you wanting to have your own energetic sovereign space, and to call this forth and just making intentions. You know, once you have done this many times, you make the intention and it's kind of active, but you practice it just like anything you do new. We keep practicing it, and then it becomes something like an automatic response. So the way I do it, so that's obviously one technique. Then you have many other techniques out there, and I know there is a lot of questions, or there are many different belief systems out there, and then you don't want to shield yourself, like as if you're shielding yourself from positive energy then coming through as well. I don't quite see it that way. In my own experience, I have, just as I said, put my emphasis on this over the last few months, because I noticed I was having challenges with this. And I intend my shield, as I said earlier on, to allow any kind of frequencies in that are of the highest vibration of love and purity. So that way, it is something where I'm, making the statement of, yes, the highest frequencies can come into my energetic field, but anything else that is of negative intent or lower frequency is being purified back to source even before it enters my field. So that way I do it, for example. And in my experience, I have positive beings connecting with me, and I don't see there's anything that's preventing that from happening. Obviously, we all need to know for ourselves. You draw out what fits for you, and that way, you find something that is usable for you, because we're all different. So everybody needs to do it for themselves and decide this. All I can do is share what works for me, and you can take it or leave it. That should be with everything. So your own discernment. So what I do is I put 3 layers of blue. I start with pink, blue, and then golden yellow just around me. It's in a kind of rope. And it's really the 3 colors from the threefold flame as well: love, power, wisdom. So that's my first layer. It's like a rope that goes around my head and my third eye, and then over my shoulders, but all around my body. It's almost like a little sleeping bag. So I have this as the first layer. Then I have my Merkaba, so the pyramid pointing upwards and another one pointing downwards. You can also look this up, what it looks like. I explained this in a couple of my other videos. Then I have a sphere of light, which is impenetrable, the one I mentioned before. So it's a golden, diamond, crystalline, platinum sphere bubble of light, which doesn't let through any lower energies or frequencies, but it lets in, as I said, any frequencies or beings that operate within the law of one. And then I can also put around that a diamond violet flame that again, purifies anything that even tries to get in before it can hit my energetic field. So these are the layers I work with. And then I also have actually a diamond, a platinum diamond shape around me that is, again, impenetrable. So that's just how I work. That might sound like a lot of layers, or whatever it may sound like, it works for me. So I'm happy with it. I feel solid. I don't need to really worry about it. Again, that came with using this every day. And there are many different techniques out there. As I said, the 12T shield from Lisa Renee is really, really good in doing that. So let me see if there's anything. Just seeing some notes. Okay. Anyone has any question on the message? Okay. Krista, how do you feel the whole full moon thing? Some say our moon is an artificial piece of the control mechanisms we've been under, and then also so many of us do still feel connected to it as something positive. What do you think? I think there's no right or wrong. I mean, the way I see it, yes, it is an artificial satellite. So yes, that's definitely one of its aspects. And it's been put here. It's not, if you look further into it, there are some very unusual things about the moon. I think David Icke did a lot of material on this, and I never really looked into it that deeply. But I think we can also connect to the positive energies of the moon. I just choose to use the lunar energies in a way to get rid of these control mechanisms. So yesterday I was literally sitting outside looking at the moon, and I can see almost those frequencies being purified by us tuning into that intention through, there was a lot of clearing going on yesterday. There were also a lot of decrees being made. Sandra Walter wrote about this as well. I met a few people here who are very aware of what's clearing at the moment. So to really us making around this time then a conscious intention of releasing any of these control mechanisms, mind control, any interfering energies, frequencies from the collective consciousness. That's how I work with it. I don't focus on the moon as in a moon worship or, kind of focusing in on the energies that are coming in, because what also happens around the full moon is an energy harvesting. So we all know about the kind of crazy moon type scenario. So on full moons, you would have increased number of emergency calls and stuff going on, or people arguing or drinking and so forth. So people are very emotional around the full moon. And this has been actually used to harvest that negative energy. So it feeds the very forces we don't really want to be seen fed. So the best thing we can also do for ourselves, or what we can do individually, is to really keep our emotional body in check or balanced. So if things are triggering you, if you have a lot coming up in your life, just try and do your best to deal with it in a balanced and manner. So again, the way I deal with it, when I'm getting triggered or something is coming up in my reality, I'm like, okay, thank you very much. This is showing me something I'm supposed to still get. So I sit with it for a while, or I go back to it later, and I'm just like, okay, let me breathe through here a little bit. Let me not just react to it, but let me actually see what's underneath. What thoughts and what are the feelings telling me? What is here really that has been triggered within me? So some wound within me that I want to release. So I have gratitude for it. I access what's really underneath of what I'm really being triggered at. So I feel it. I need to sit with it. I don't just go, oh yeah, fine, that's fine. I noticed this is coming up in my reality, let me just release it. No, that's not fully released, because what this trigger is actually trying to help you is to access that emotion or that cellular release that wants to happen, so you can clear it out of your energetic field. If you don't access that, then it will keep running. It's still within your cells. It hasn't come up for release. So emotions help us release, but we don't descend into them. So for example, one of the main differences between men and women from a distorted perspective would be men can be a bit cold with their emotions. They can be very controlling in how they experience their emotions. Women can be over emotional. So these are the two distortions on those two sides. And women, and that's generally speaking, obviously this is not just about gender, but this is what mainly takes place in the collective. So women have to become masters of their emotions. The way we do this is by becoming masters of our thoughts and belief systems, or to go deep down and change them. But most of all, it's to not just act out and react as much as we can, to step back, come within, drop back into balance. But then we have a look at it and see, okay, I'm feeling a bit calmer now. What's really going on here? What thoughts am I processing? They're triggering obviously my emotions here. What is it? Is it because I don't feel respected? Where I'm not respecting myself, where I'm letting other people constantly overstep my boundaries. Because anger, frustration, all of that stuff is always, it's a good sign. It's pointing us towards something that still wants to be resolved. So again, we give gratitude for it. We observe it, but then we unravel it by seeing, okay, wait, this is not about me, this is actually about that person. But in order for me not to keep re-experiencing this, because you don't want to keep re-experiencing these time loopings, I have to make different decisions. So next time I will not engage in this conversation, or next time when that person is trying to trigger me, I'm just going to ignore them and I'm walking away. I'm not going to engage in the drama anymore, which is just going to cause more drama. So we keep dropping within instead of keep playing out these unconscious dramas with other people. Because that's why they're there. They're in order for us to resolve this. But once I know this, and once it's been triggered, then I go within. Obviously, we can have conversations with other people to clear something out of the air. We need to have these conversations as well. But we're doing it from a place of when we are centered and when we know what we actually want to communicate. So we don't do it in the moment when we are reactive. We're doing it when we've calmed down and had a moment. And another thing is with anger or frustration, for example, which I had a lot to deal with, and it still sometimes comes up. I, again, try and do this for myself. So I let out that anger in a safe place instead of letting it out on other people. So I deal with that emotion. I don't descend into it. I don't let it bubble up that I then have some emotional angry breakout as much as I can. But I will try and take a moment and scream in a pillow, or go outside, in your garden, or when you're alone, whatever, like stomp your feet, punch a pillow, let out a scream, go into your room, let out a scream, something that can help this emotion to come up and out, because it has to come up and out. You can't keep it down, or this whole thing will keep being triggered and triggered, because it's in your cells, it's in your body, and it wants to come out. And other people's triggers help you access that emotion, which has to be resolved. And then we drop deeper and we change our thoughts and we change our belief system around whatever is being triggered. Because let's just say, for example, it's something like respect, that you don't feel respected by other people and it keeps coming up. You then have to work on your own beliefs as well, of that people don't respect you. So go into an affirmation daily and say, people respect, love, and accept me the way I am. For example, people respect me. I respect myself. I expect myself as I am. What I'm saying has value, things like this. So you have to go deep down to see what is underneath these thought patterns, what belief systems are playing out here. And then you change them by becoming consciously aware of them and really working on them consciously. So whenever something comes up, it's like you keep changing your reality through your belief systems. That's why the inner work is so important. But other people are helping us to get there. So the sovereignty piece comes in, where it's like, okay, I'm dealing with my triggers, you deal with your triggers. We can be here to support each other, but we can't do it for each other. And these are my boundaries, and this is my discernment. And when somebody oversteps them, I have to keep them in place, and I have to keep reinforcing them. So that's a big piece, definitely. And it it takes a few goes to really also wire that into you. It's like a reprogramming. We really have to re-brainwash ourselves, because we've been brainwashed all our lives. So it takes a while to integrate that, and that's why we need, a few goes. We are really rewiring our brain, and that comes through repetition. It's taken a while to come to this place where we are finding ourselves at. So, you know, there are quantum leaps possible, but we still have to have patience with us, and we don't always get it right. So when we act out of, you know, some emotion and we don't get it right, that's also okay. Like, we just need to let ourselves off the hook. We make adjustments for the future, but we don't keep dwelling on it, and we don't keep what's it called, you know, like, put the stick down, I like to say. So just don't keep beating yourself up. Don't give yourself a hard time, because that will just keep you going down in a spiral as well of not feeling good about yourself, having negative self-talk. That just starts then spiraling down into a very negative state of being, and that's not where you want to be. You just want to be observant and objective, again, as if talking to yourself as a best friend, of like, okay, here, okay, that wasn't great. Maybe I want to apologize to the people I've just heard, or whatever went on. So I apologize to them. I forgive myself. And then I make an adjustment of what I'm going to do differently next time. And even if I don't get it right next time, then it's the time after that, or the time after that. Okay, you just keep trying. You keep going. Perseverance and tenacity are such important pieces on this journey. Again, we are reprogramming ourselves. So it takes a while, and it takes repetition in order to really integrate these new behaviors and way of being and thinking and feeling. So yeah, and you know, also self-sovereignty is about, we take responsibility for our actions. So again, if I've done something wrong and I haven't behaved in the best way, I will apologize. I expect that from other people as well, but if they don't give it to me, that's fine also. I can actually say it on their behalf. Because sometimes you may wait forever and other people won't apologize, and we don't need it really. We can go within and, for example, use the Ho'oponopono. That's why I use often the "I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you." We can say this on behalf of other people, especially through the oneness, the, you know, being one with all of creation. I can do this on behalf of another person, and it's really like dropping deeper into forgiveness. Is how we do this. So if there's still some feeling where you feel you don't have forgiven another one, you can't talk yourself into it. You just have to keep working with it, because it's a feeling, really. You know, it's energetic. You can't convince yourself of something that you don't feel. So even if our mind might say, oh yeah, I understand, I didn't mean it, but you still feel anger or hurt, you just have to keep dropping deeper into the forgiveness and the understanding and the love. And it all starts with us. So if we don't have that compassion and that love and that forgiveness for ourselves, we can't have this for others. So I found the more I have it for myself, the more I can have it for others. But sometimes it's also just trying to understand why people are the way they are. That helps me a lot in being more forgiving and having more love for them and for everything and all of creation, really. And we know that other people are responsible for their own life. We can't do it for them. And we are responsible for our own life. So whatever another person does or doesn't do, we don't let us being affected by it to the degree where it throws us out of our emotional equilibrium. But it's still okay to feel hurt. It's still okay to feel emotions. Like, we deal with it, but we won't let it be a reason to blame someone else for the way we're feeling, but we're still holding them accountable. So if somebody else is not behaving correctly, you want to say it to them, because they might not even get it. They might not even see it themselves. And we want to speak up for ourselves. You know, there's nothing to fear. Being our own authentic self as well is about just being who we are, talking freely, not being worried about how another person would react if they get angry or whatever else it would be. Just be your authentic self, as if nobody would judge or look at you or listen to you. You know, it's like, almost like when I say dance as if no one is watching, live as if nobody is watching. Like, you don't act out, you know, to hurt other people and then think, oh yeah, that's fine, they're responsible for themselves. No, if you're behaving like a not so nice person, you have to take responsibility for that, and you have to see it. And sometimes other people have to point you towards that, and you have to go within and say, okay, maybe where didn't I behave so well? And we take responsibility for that, but we don't do it from a place of shame or guilt or whatever. It's just like, oh, okay, sorry, you know, wasn't at my best, didn't see that, didn't know that, but I'm going to do it differently next time, because I can see it's negatively affecting you. that's the law of one. We understand that whatever we do upon another, we do upon ourselves. Ultimately, things that we do or say that hurt other people is something that we need to become aware of and take responsibility for and make adjustments, because that's the main thing. The law of one is not to do something that will harm another or the generations that come after us. And that's where we're going back to now, to really understand this. And that's the whole key also to service to others, is to do everything in the interest of everyone involved. We don't just selfishly wreak havoc. we take responsibility, and we act from integrity, and we act from purity, and we act from a place of love, and we are that change we want to see in the world. So the sovereignty piece doesn't give us a green card and just doing whatever we want. No, we do it from a responsible perspective, but we are doing our work for ourselves, our sovereign selves. We can't do it for other people, so no rescuing and all that stuff goes out of the window. But we can support other people through what we've learned ourselves and saying, hey, if you want help, I'm here to talk. This is what's worked for me, but I'm sure you're going to figure it out for yourself. Try it out. Try maybe something else out. That's the idea. And none of us are, sovereignty doesn't mean isolation, and it doesn't mean independence in the distorted way of saying, I'm a man on an island or a woman on an island and I don't need anyone, because everybody needs other people. Not needing, but it's nice, it's more fun. We can all, there are people who live out in the wilderness and live by their own, and they kind of don't need other people, but even they will need to go to some shop once or twice a year and get in some basics, because nobody, as far as I'm concerned, can grow and produce and do everything themselves to be totally self-contained. In a sense, there will always be some sort of exchange with other people. So it's more about interdependency, so that there will always be, things where we exchange, but it should be an equal give and take. That's the main difference here. So not a distorted codependency of like, I need this from you in order for me to survive. No, it's from a mutual agreement, and I'm giving you something, you giving me something else in return. That's interdependency, but it's on an equal level. It's not from a level of one is more or is more in charge than the other person, and it's all doesn't feel right, and some person kind of is losing out and the other one is winning. So that for me is the main difference there. But we're not, sovereignty doesn't mean we're just doing it all on our own either, because we came here to walk each other home, to really assist each other in this ascension, because I'm sure I was in another lifetime. I did some very solitary thing, and I've had that experience, and I do like, being on my own, but the fun really comes with exchanging with other people and talking to other people and having experiences with other people. That's what I see, at least, is what I want to have in my life, instead of just do my own thing all the time. This is also about unity, as us coming together in groups or trying out different projects with different people and seeing what flows, what brings me fun, what brings me joy. But we're doing it from a sovereign piece, and I know what I can bring to the table. These are my abilities. What are you bringing to the table? Oh, this fits really well. Let's do it, but from a place of equal partnership. And not one is in charge, the other one is just listening or subservient. It's all from a place of equality and love and unity, and really coming together in our own authentic self, because then is when we can complete the puzzle. If everybody brings their own unique puzzle piece to the picture, and then everybody else, then you come to these co-creative partnerships where everybody's bringing their gifts and their talents, and they just beautifully complement each other. They're not in competition with each other, because the whole competition piece is another thing we had to really clear deeply, especially lately. It's actually ridiculous, because there's enough for everybody to go around. That I had to clear this in my own field. There's enough to go around for everyone. It's the same as I say to my daughter with love. There's enough love to go around for everybody. Enough friends, enough abundance, enough clients, enough everything. But I mean, on another level, we certainly don't need any approval from anybody else. That's another big piece. How many people are reading my posts or whatever, or how many customers I have? No. It's just about coming from a place of purity, doing what we love doing, we're putting it out there, and we then work on our belief systems also of knowing we always have enough, the right customers are coming to us, or, you know, it's basically about us being in our own sovereignty of not needing another person to make me feel good about myself, because then my well-being will always be dependent on another person. So whether they are you know, giving us good feedback, or if we have enough likes on our post, or, you know, even my friends, if they don't like me, then I feel I don't like me, that kind of thing. You know, no, nothing another person does or doesn't do should have an effect on your own sense of self-worth and self-love. That's what we have to get to. That's self-sovereignty. So we don't need another person to give us that love. We are giving it to ourselves first. And then you will see people coming into your life and actually loving you for who you are, because you love yourself for who you are. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, those are two big things that I've been clearing lately. I'm happy this all makes sense, because I'm just hearing myself talk. I hope it's all good. Okay, let me just check here. Okay, so we had the moon thing. And then, yes, I also found that cultivating gratitude for other people's bad behavior is a muscle I can build. At first, it doesn't make any sense to the mind, but it is important to understand that others are aspects of self. So the horrible behavior, once we get ourselves away from it, if it is nasty or abusive, as a gift of mirror. Yeah, totally, exactly. So they're always showing us something that still needs to be integrated, either within ourselves, or just to, you know, give them love, just hold space for them. For, you know, they're obviously doing it from a place of their own distortion somewhere, and whether it's fear or you know, whatever it may be, that's playing out within their reality that they're projecting onto you. But that's why, you know, the only thing we need to check is where we're getting triggered, and what do we still have to resolve. So that way they're helping us. But otherwise, also, how I see it is that we are here to really just have the divine neutrality and love for all of these aspects of source, especially as so much is becoming clear at the moment. So there's a lot of, you know, veils are being removed, and things we couldn't see before we are seeing now. So, and it's very collective, really. So our own experience will be reflected in the collective experience. And that's why, you know, it's important of what we do for ourselves, you also do for everyone else, because that's really how it is. Of course, you know, it has an effect on everything, the butterfly effect. So, yes, if we can just stay in our center and not let that bad behavior of another person floor us, of course, because we just need to, you know, stay, okay, check, wait here, you know, I'm not going to get now out of control and let my whole day spiral downwards just because another person is horrible to me. No, just because they maybe had a bad day. But if it triggers me, I will have a look at this maybe later or whenever I have the moment, and really see, okay, what's triggering me here. So, yeah, and also we need to stand up for ourselves if, you know, somebody is not nice. We're not being just a pushover either. That's also very important. We have to stand up for what we believe in. And if others are not treating us nicely, we have to stand up for ourselves. We can't just let them carry on with it either. But we don't do it from a place of anger or frustration. We do it from a quiet moment, when we do it from love and understanding that that person's doing it out of their own distortion. You know, it's nothing personal. They don't do it because they hate us so much. You know, and even if they would hate us so much, that's still their problem. It's not a reflection of us. It's something that's within us that may trigger them, but that's something for them to resolve. So nothing anyone ever does, it's really because of you, it's because of them. But there are certain frequency matches when you have the victim and the victimizer meeting each other, because it's a frequency match. So we have to then stop vibrating at either one of those frequencies in order to stop this whole game, because it's a program. The victim persecutor consciousness, it's a program within the matrix that we have to dissolve. So nobody's a victim here, but we also have to have enough compassion for our trauma. But again, we don't stick there and we don't say, oh, poor me. It's like, yes, I've been through a lot. I have so much love and compassion for myself, but now I'm rising above this. That's kind of how we need to think. So we don't wallow there, we don't get stuck in the victim energy, because that will just bring more persecutors into our energy field. So we have to really rise in our own sovereign power in order for this then not to happen to us anymore, and these type of people not keep being attracted to us through frequency. So we step beyond this. I hope that makes sense. I'm so helpful. It is helpful what I'm talking about. Ultimately, our ability to hold responsibility for our own experience of them as our trigger, and to actually learn how to build our inner muscle of seeing all others as an aspect of source. Wait a second, just because my brain is right now not processing much. Ultimately, our ability to hold responsibility for our own experience of them. Oh, of them, the people, or of the triggers? For our own experience of them as our triggers, and to actually learn how but I must not see what else like that. Yes, so basically, yeah, I mean, if something is triggering in your field, it's something on a higher level, you know, it's all you. So that's where we can come back to. On the highest level, everything is you. Once we take responsibility for our whole reality, that all and everyone is us, it's actually really freeing, because that way then we can also consciously decide of making different choices going forward. So it's not from a place of blame or shame or have created all this ourselves, because again, a lot of this has been given to us just from birth. So these types of experience that we keep re-experiencing, the same triggers, they're often things from our childhood or within our family line or through programming that is just a program, you know, we have picked up on the way. We weren't conscious of it. So we don't get into a twist about how it even came about. Obviously, it can help us understand. But the main thing is we're here to try and change that now. That's the main thing. So yes, we keep seeing all and everything as an aspect of source, and that is also an aspect of us. And that way, actually, nobody's doing anything to us anymore. But it's also not of a place of, oh my God, I'm doing this all to myself. How crazy or self-destructive am I? It's just that this has come from an unconscious program, and that we're here to resolve. And there will, you know, be always tests and challenges and so forth. But again, the more we build that inner muscle, the more it becomes an automatic response. And then next time we don't get triggered anymore, or we have a moment where we feel a twinge, but then we're like, oh yeah, wait, I've been through this a million times, and I know better this time, and I'm not going to fall for the trigger, and I'm just going to stay in my center, because this is about them, and I have nothing to trigger being left, and I'm good here. And that's really what it's all about. So that's the sovereignty piece, where we are just, you know, responsible for our own energy, for our own emotions, for our own thoughts. But we also take other people responsible as and when necessary. So to say, hey, that's not okay. You know, this has to change. Because otherwise, again, we just keep allowing people or things also to do this for us. It's like an energetic shift that needs to happen, where it's like, no, actually, I'm worth more. I'm worth more respect. I'm worth more love. And then when we claim this from within energetically, because we know we are worth more, then you will see everything around you shift as well. So again, it's something from us transmitted within out into our reality that's being reflected back to us. So if you're, for example, having a day and you're not really loving yourself, you will come across people that will keep triggering that within you. I have this with my daughter. I mentioned this the other day. It's like, on a good day, she will be all hugging, kissy, and mommy, I love you. On another day, when I feel not so good about myself, she will reflect that back at me also. So I always have to go within and see, okay, what is here not quite right within my own energy, and where can I work on myself in order to change that? Because once I make that inner shift in my energetic field, in my frequency, then my reality shifts for me, and so do the people in my reality. So this is all about the inner work. But whilst I'm still feeling unworthy, I will keep attracting situations to me that will make me keep feeling unworthy. I hope that makes sense. Oh, do I have an energy? I have to say, like, the energies today just so intense. I'm actually surprised I've managed so far through this call that I'm still making sense. I'm very grateful because, as I said, it's been quite quite full on. So if there are any more questions, let me know now. Otherwise, I'm going to move to the last activation because we're almost 2 hours, although we started 10 minutes late. Okay. My playful smile, that's good. Yeah, loads of laughing. We have to laugh a lot about this, about what we couldn't see within ourselves. Often I've turned around and I remember, when you judge something, for example, from other people, and often you're not aware even of your own judgments. And then later on in life, you find yourself doing the same thing. And it's like, oh, I remember I used to judge this for a long time ago. And then you find yourself doing it, and it just has to be fun because, again, it's like Alice in Wonderland. It's like, oh my God, what have I created here? The wicked games we play. And just because it is actually a game, it is a play. Of course, this is also serious. That's the polar opposites. That's also collapsing at the moment. I keep having these thoughts of like, everything matters so much and this doesn't even exist, so nothing matters at all. These are the extreme polarities at the moment that are collapsing. And again, we should not be too set on anything. That's why we have to be playful with these experiences so that they can dissolve, this lower timelines, the lower experience, and these lower versions of us. If we keep still judging any part of us, it's very hard to release that. So we have to become neutral with ourselves. We have to become playful, forgiving, loving with ourselves for first to be able to release that, because otherwise whatever we resist persists. So if I resist any aspect of me or of any other person that comes into my experience, it will keep coming up. We have to love it so much. The collective shadow, our personal shadow, just from this place of purity again, that we didn't know any better before. And a lot of this has been given to us, but we are here now to resolve it and we're claiming our power. That's what it's about. And then we try and have some fun with this because it's literally a game we have been playing out and that is now resolving. Obviously, that's also very important because, in this reality, people are being affected and there's stuff going on we don't want to have continue. That's why it's important we step into our power. But let's not try and take it too seriously because that in itself is a denser vibration and doing it playfully. So, to laugh about a lot of things is very helpful. And so I try to make jokes of myself and intense situations sometimes. It helps a lot. Like, can either laugh or cry. Do both. It's also all good and okay. Both is a release. Okay, let's just move into the last activation and then we finish the call. And any question, of course, anything, you can always also send me a message in an email afterwards. So just center yourself in your heart space once more. We still have this beautiful bubble of light. It's filled with pure divine love all around us that has been assisting us throughout this call. And integrating these energies and keys and codes received. And will help us over the next 2 days to assimilate this. And we activate our highest levels of light within every cell and every atom, every atomic and subatomic particle and wave of our beingness across all timelines, all dimensions, all realities, calling forth the highest light, the highest purity from source, from our soul, oversoul, and monad into our cells, into our bodies. Releasing all and any density that has been released throughout our conversation back to source. Usunaiaki inasaraiaki ina nakarakukunaiaki. Usunaiaki inasaraiaki. Ushunaiaki inaiaki inaya. Usunaiaki ekana karakukunaiaki. Usunaiaki. Ukunaiaki inaye inasa unaikiaka. Una nasarayaki nasanayi. Ushunayaki. Ukunayaki inayi. And we connect to our person Merkaba, which is our light ship Merkaba, which is a pyramid pointing upwards and one pointing downwards, all around our body. The upper pyramid, which starts around 30 centimeters above our head and goes down to our hips, spinning clockwise, spinning out any energy, any density, or that we let go of, that is not in alignment with our highest soul self, our true self, our back to source. And the lower pyramid, pointing downwards, starting around the heart center, and the apex is just about 30 centimeters below our feet, spinning anti-clockwise, spinning in any keys and codes that are for our highest good, more and more light into ourselves and into our field. And around us, we imagine a beautiful tube torus field, which is like a bubble of light, spinning clockwise, faster and faster. And the faster the speed, the faster or higher our vibration. So just keep spinning this, activating our diamond, crystalline, rainbow solar bodies to the highest level available in this now moment. Usunaya ki inaya karakukunaya shi inaya ki nakaraka. Usunaya nakarakia ki nasaraya ki. Ushunaya ni nataratea ki. Ukunaya ni usunaye. Ekura ne nasaraya ki. Ukuna. Esenaye na. Ukunaya ki. Ushunaya ki nasaraya ki. Activating our Antakarana, our Ascension column, connecting us to heaven and earth. There's a beautiful column of light running all the way through our spinal cord, to the center of our bodies. Beautiful white column of light growing wider and wider and brighter, purifying any low energies. Usunaya ki inasaraya ki ina karakukunaya ki inasaraya ki. Ushunaya ki inaye inasarakukunaya ki inasaraye. Usunaya ki inaye ukuraya ki. Usunaya ki kinakarakya. Activating our rainbow bridge, the rainbow body, the bridge to new earth and the bridge to new experience. Usunaya ki nakaraki kina nasaraya ki inasharaya ki. Usunaya ki ukunaye na nakaraki. Kunaya ki ushunaye. Usunaya ki ukunaye ki inasaraya. Unana saraye. Unaya ki. Activate now multidimensional DNA to the next level. Activate now highest quality DNA. Overriding and overwriting any lesser DNA, any lesser codes, any lesser strands. Activate 100% purity with now DNA in every cell of our beingness to the highest level. Possible in this now moment, integrated with absolute ease and grace. Moving any pains, any stuck energy, any density from our fields. Activating our original divine true human source blueprints. Usunayaki ina nasaraye ina karakukunayaki. Ushunaye nasaraye akiaku. Osunaye na kiraki. Okunaye aki. Enanana sanaye aki. Om. Ah. Nase etu enuyanase unakeaki usunayeaki unukurakeaki. Balancing our masculine and feminine energies within and without, merging and balancing the mind within the heart and the heart within the mind, balancing, merging our right and left brain hemispheres to new levels of balance and harmony. Usunayaki inaye, ukunayaki inasarayaki, usunayaki inaye, usunayaki inayaki, ukunayaki inaye, usunayaki inaye, usunayaki inayaki inakakunayaki, usunaye, usunayaki, ukunayaki inayaki. Usunayaki inasa, unayaki inaye, usunayaki, ukunana sarayaki, anasanayaki, ukunayaki, inasarayaki, inasarayaki, inayaki, inakaraki, 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 kanasarayaki, usunayane, inayaki, inaye, usunaye, usunayaki, inaye, inaye, inakaraki, inakaraki, inakaraki. Usunayaki, eno sunaye, onanaseaki, ontunayaki, usunayaki, ishanayaki, usunayaki, onunanayaki, ontura, ekanaye, usunayaki, merging and balancing and harmonizing our divine masculine, divine feminine, and divine child energies within Holy Trinity. Bringing more balance, more stability, more harmony within and without. Usunayaki rakarakukunayaki inasaraye. Usunayaki. Usunayakarakukunayaki. Usunaye. Usunayaki yakaraki. Usunayaki. Ukunaye. Unasanaye. Utunayaki. Usunayaki. 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 And we focus once more on our beautiful heart rose, crystalline, diamond heart rose, which throughout this call has opened more of her petals as they have been purified and illuminated, opening ourselves up to ever greater levels of love, loving ourselves, loving others, and allowing more love into our lives, ever greater levels of love, forgiveness, understanding, compassion, available to us now, as we let go of the old and welcome the new. activating the highest timelines, personally and collectively, releasing, collapsing and merging all lower timelines, experiences, behaviors, thought forms, patterns, all and everything that is no longer alignment with our true self, with our authentic self. Letting go of the old and trusting and surrendering to the new, because we might not know where we're going and what is going to happen, but we trust that everything is always happening for us, for our highest soul growth, and everything is ultimately serving us. Even if our human mind might see something as negative or positive, ultimately it's all neutral. It's always for our highest good. And the less we can resist anything or anyone, of any resistance in our field, the more of that what is meant for us can come in, and the all can release. Oshunaya ki inasaraya ki inaya ki inasaraya ku unasaraya I osunaya ki inaye unanasaraya ki inaya ki osunaya nasaraya ki aki oshunaye unaya ki osunaya okunana saraye hikanaye okunaya ki inaye. And we send our love and this keys and codes received out once more through the human heart grid and the cosmic heart grid. Sharing this with everyone who's open to receive. Sending our love to all of creation. Being grateful for who we are in our lives as they are now. Counting all of our blessings. Understanding all of our experiences are necessary. But once we take control of our thoughts and our emotions, we become conscious co-creators of our realities again. Osunayaki anakarakukunayaki inasarayaki inasharayaki inakarakukunayaki osunayaki inaye osunayaki inasa unaye ikinakarakuku ianasarayaki ukunayaki inasa osunayaki inaye unasarayaki inaye. Once more we send the golden diamond beam of light from our heart center down to crystal core of Gaia, connecting to the new 5, 6, 17 beyond new earth grids, calling forth the new earth experience, the highest timelines, highest experiences, and the highest good for all, on behalf of all. Bringing back up the keys and codes from crystal core of Gaia, Gaia's heart, into our hearts and out into energy fields. Giving gratitude for her love and all that she provides for us. Okunayaki inasaraye, okunayaki, oshunayaki inayaki inasarayaki. Activating the diamond crystal codes, the freedom codes, the bliss codes, the abundance codes of our DNA. Now, okunayaki inasaraye ikana kukunaye ikinasa enaye inakara kukunaye inasha unataye ikinayaki osunayaki inayakara kukunayaki oshunayaki inasarayaki inayaki okurayaki esanayaki naka. It is done, it is done, it is done. So it is. So I hope you enjoyed that. Take a moment to come back to your body and just take it easy. Obviously, do whatever your body tells you to do. You know, whether you want to go and run a marathon or take a nap. We are needing a lot of time at the moment to ourselves. So, a lot of rest time as well. There's just so much going on with our energy bodies. The light body is getting huge upgrades. Like I can go into meditation and just my whole body is vibrating and crystallizing. So there's a lot happening within the grids, the new upgrades. They're coming online really big. Like I can really, what I'm seeing is we are having access to this new earth experience. We're still clearing out some stuff, but more and more, the more we tap into this with our new ways of being and thinking and feeling and behaving, the more this will come online. So more and more of the good stuff is coming in now, whilst the out is all is releasing. So that's a little bit of the overlap of the past and the future, let's say, see it that way, that's happening at the moment. So it's all happening at the same time. And really what's also happening is it's very multidimensional. Loads going on in dream time. I'm doing a lot of energetic work. There's so much going on behind the scenes, but it's really, really looking good. Like the message in the full moon meditation yesterday was really liberation, and I could feel it. Liberation is here now. We just have to now really dream and manifest it into our reality, because we are doing this. The more of us do this, it's being projected out into our realities. That is how we're changing the hologram, by overlaying it with a new matrix, a new way of being. So everything we do is this. Every exchange we have, it doesn't have to be just something Ascension related or someone who understands you. Any conversation you have with any person in our lives is this. And it's not about even enlightenment to know all the secrets of the universe. This is about being a heart-centered, empathic, and good human being. This is what this is about. It's about being that love in this world that we want to see more of. That's what's important. So everything we do, say, think, feel, is this. And that's where we have to be really vigilant with what's going on within our own being, to police that, but not from a place of being the critical disciplinarian, but to do it from a playful perspective. Don't give people a hard time, don't give yourself a hard time. Sure, you need to sometimes give yourself a kick in the bum or tell other people what's okay and what's not okay, but generally we can do this with a lot more joy and fun. And that's what we're getting to now, because from that fun, that's the divine child coming out to play, wanting to have fun, wanting to have an ice cream, wanting to create, from a place of joy, not because they need to. They don't want to be told what to do. So give yourself that freedom, give everybody else that freedom. Do as much that, makes you feel good as you can. So relax more, create more, have more fun. It's the opposite of what we've learned, that we need to work hard or make sacrifices for having the good life that somebody else told us was the life we were supposed to be living, having the house, having the family, having the car, having the job. And most of us have understood by now that that is not all life is about. And a lot of that is programming, and we might want to live a different life. And we have to give ourselves that freedom and the sovereignty to go for that life. Never mind what anyone says, thinks, or does themselves. We have to figure out what is good for me, for us. What kind of life do I want to live? And then we go for it. And never mind what anyone says, because they're living in their own dysfunction. So, clear out your own stuff. See what does your heart want. What are your true desires? Not desires from a lower ego perspective, desires of the flesh type of things. Like, I need to drink that bottle of wine now. No, it's about what makes my heart sing, what brings me real happiness, what brings me real fulfillment. And nobody else can give that to you. It doesn't matter what job you do, where you live, what house you are in, what relationship. If you haven't fundamentally changed yourself on the inside of what has not been working for you, of what's not in line with your highest truth, you would still have the same experiences. Believe me, I've tried it, I've been there. It changes as you change from within. So I used to run around and do all these different things and try them all out. And then over the last few years, I just went really deep within, and I just stood still in a way. But that's how I cleared all of that stuff out, because I didn't go out and try out all these different experiences, because I already kind of knew what was working and what's not working. And then I just had to go deeper and deeper within to sort out all of these lower thought forms and behaviors and thinking patterns. And now all of that, what we have practiced for so long, because we have been rewiring our brains, is now really coming into fruition. So it's much easier to have these new behaviors and new ways of being and access these, our future self and our future realities and timelines by making these shifts, because it's becoming very loud now, what's not in alignment. It's becoming very uncomfortable, it's becoming very painful. And yes, we can sometimes also recreate drama and pain because we're so used to it. That's the other thing. It's like an addiction almost, that we then keep recreating the drama, because then sometimes when our life is too quiet, it's like, oh, something is missing. I need to create some drama, obviously on some, subconscious level, but that's what it's been like so far. And now it's like, no, wait, I want to have a peaceful, balanced, harmonious life. First of all, I need to bring this in within myself. Then it will be reflected to me back through my environment by sometimes things falling apart, falling away, but then that makes room for new things to enter. So if that old relationship hasn't been working, good riddance. And obviously we work with our emotions, but then we also make space for that more aligned relationships with our new self to come into alignment and to come to us. So things will fall away and will come into your life by you just doing that inner work, because that's how the universe works. And obviously, again, we still need to do those steps that are being shown to us. So we don't just sit around and do nothing. We make it happen, but we also allow the good stuff to come to us. So it's a bit of both. That's the balance. It's the balance. It's all about balance. Balance between masculine and feminine, between doing and being, all of it, food, anything, and don't go too much about what other people are thinking or saying. That changes, belief system changes, what's healthy, what's not healthy changes. Of course, there's certain common sense, but generally just go within and see what does your body want and need. And what do you think is good for you, not what somebody else has told you is good for you. That's the most important part about sovereignty. We connect with our own soul, our own knowing, our own intuition. The more we do this, the more will come in, the more clarity returns. So a lot of time away from all the distractions is a good idea. I did a few months ago, once I found out that there was a lot going on in my reality that was being manipulated, and it had to do with another teacher that I was listening to too much. And I could start it literally like starting to work like a brainwashing. So I was constantly hearing this person in my mind. I was then like, okay, I'm just taking 2 weeks here. Like I didn't set it out. I said, but it ended up with being 2 weeks of really not reading other people's materials or listening to their videos or whatever, and just clearing out that space. Because that can also work as a kind of brainwashing, and not everybody out there, first of all, is coming from a pure place themselves. They might do it knowingly or unknowingly, depends on the person, but they might be transmitting a lot of distortion themselves, or small distortions within a lot of truth. So that's why it's so important to always, no matter what I read or listen to, always ask myself, does this resonate with me? And what has resonated with me a few months ago might not anymore. And we're constantly evolving and fine-tuning and upgrading and reaching new frequencies. So that's just normal. But yeah, just use your own discernment, feel what feels aligned, what is that person saying that might cause feelings of separation within me. I would be very wary of that. Or are they just feeling their own ego, or is it all about what I say is right? That kind of guru archetype that really has to leave now. Like that has been dissolving over the last few months, but it's becoming very visible now. And the whole difference between service to self and service to others, are they coming from a pure place, or are they coming from an egotistical place and just want to, feel good about themselves, or just earn money? Are they doing it in order to really help other people, or are they coming from a place of they actually want to support other people? And yeah, and also another distortion I just want to bring in is doing everything for free, as you know, in this spiritual community. And that's not right either. That's some distortion that comes from religious orders we used to be in, maybe in other lifetimes where we've taken poverty vows, or you know, all these different things that are within the religious um, systems, and that we may have been part of as well, and or be connected, you know, money with only people, you know, like certain belief systems that are like money is a bad thing, or people who have a lot of money are not good people, or things like this. You know, this all has to be released. It has to be an equal give and take. It needs to feel good. You don't want to be reluctant of asking for, you know, an exchange and giving something to other people either. But you also don't want to be greedy and all being about money. You know, it needs to come from the right place. If you want to do this because it's something your soul wants you to do, because it's something you are here to do as part of your abilities, and not because of money. So that's the difference. Hope that makes sense. Okay. I will leave you and love you, and thank you for listening and being here and taking your time. I make the replay available later. And thank you so much for all your support and all your love and everything. And yeah, I hope it helped you all. And thank you for all your beautiful messages. I'm gonna unmute you all so we can all say goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye, Mona. Thank you for everything. Thank you. Love you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, Krista. Bye, Katrina.
Bye, Ramona. Such a beautiful activation. Thank you so, so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Al. I'm so happy.
Lots of love and hugs.
Loads of big group hugs. We all need a hug. It's been intense. Lots of self-hugging. Like, but we'll get there, okay? It's so close. I can really see it. Like it's just this whole breakthrough and getting rid of all this yucky, dense, nasty energy. So close. Big breakthroughs, even since last night, since the full moon. Huge.
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
Yeah, we're clearing at the moment a lot of what's coming up there. It's like a detox, you know, when you like break out in sweats and pimples everywhere kind of thing.
I love it.
Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. So much love, waves of love and blessings to us all. New Earth now, so it is.
Yes.
We call that forth. We are part of this. It doesn't just happen to us, that's for sure. But it's also time of destiny. So trust, people. Trust, visualize, call it forth, you know. But yeah, good times, generally good times. We're in for some goodies.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, we are. We've done a lot of work. It's all paying off now. We have to believe it though, because the beliefs shape the reality. So that's the important part there. So thank you all so much. Love you. So many blessings. Bye.